Hi everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Man where nothing's easy, here to bring you a showcase on No Rest for the Wicked, and showcase, their second showcase on their game. So, Warriors and Wenches, I'm super excited to play this. I don't think they're an indie dev, I think they're a double A. I can't tell. They're Moon Studios. But let's watch them, let's see what they got in store for us, because I can't wait for this game to go in full. Because I don't like to play early access games for far too long. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I'll brush it off and then, get a return, because, Steam has this whole 2-hour thing. I don't want it to be on my library for far too long. But if it's a good game, I'll keep it around. But I don't like to play early access games all the way, because you just eat up all the content. Much like Pow World and all those other games. But anyway, let's go ahead and do this. See what they got in store for us. Oh, shit. I ain't never seen that. Visuals look amazing. Breach.
Hey everyone, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Gennady.
Hey bros.
Welcome to our second Wicked Inside.
We know a lot of you have been eagerly waiting to hear more from us since we shipped our last major content update.
Right after early access launch, we spent weeks.
I remember this update when they uplifted the ambient occlusion and they added lighting to the game, because I was like, I need to see more of the character, and they did that. They did that real fast, actually.
Listening intently to your feedback while putting out numerous hotfixes and patches.
Then, after we felt that No Rest for the Wicked was in a good spot, we launched our first big content update, the Crucible.
I didn't play this.
With the Crucible, we introduced fresh enemies, brand new systems, and a fun mode to keep everyone entertained while we begin work on our next major content update. But it's been a while since then, and today we'd like to explain why.
Our publisher for No Rest for the Wicked was Private Division, a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive.
Take-Two decided to sell off Private Division, which was unexpected news for us.
Bro, what did I tell you about not only Take-Two, but also the disruption of investors and big publishers and companies. Like Private Division, when I heard Private Division was with them, I was like, okay, I like Private Division. Private Division's okay. But then when I heard Take-Two Interactive just axed Private Division and then fucked over No Rest for the Wicked, I was like, what the fuck? Bro, just stay on indie. I can't stand invest. I can't stand them. I can't stand Take-Two. Anyway, I'm gonna stop yelling.
After some deliberation, we saw an opportunity.
After months of negotiations, we reached an agreement to buy the publishing rights for No Rest for the Wicked back, so that Moon Studios could become fully independent.
Wait. Oh, that's right. So they didn't own... That's right. They don't own the rights to No Rest for the Wicked, which is weird, because they're the ones that made it. But since it's their money, but they axed Private Division, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. But the fact that they were able to squeeze No Rest for the Wicked out of the clutches of Take-Two and then now they're fully independent, bro. I'm telling you, you need to watch out for Moon Studios. They've been doing great things. They are throwing away DEI. They are just making games for gamers. They are just here to make games and to have fun, and I'm pretty sure that they're playing their own game. How many developers don't play their own game? A lot. And this is good. Good on them. Good on them. That was a smart business plan.
This legal process took time, and we couldn't say much while it was all happening.
But today, we're excited to announce that it's all done and that Moon Studios is now fully independent.
Good.
We believe this will give you even more confidence in our vision because we're free to build No Rest for the Wicked exactly how we want without needing to ever go silent again.
Wait. See, I keep on forgetting how these big companies that take over the, you know, I am fearful of publishers, but I'm also fearful of what owns the publisher, the investors, shareholders, that sort of thing, because sometimes they're just one day they're Hi-Fi Rush, for example. Everybody liked Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush made good numbers. What did Microsoft do? Cut that shit out. So Tango Studios had to do their own thing, and Tango Studios is with Hi-Fi Rush. So it's you start to draw a line and realize, like, okay, because usually you don't think about these things when you're a kid, but now that I'm a full-grown adult, you have to watch out for certain companies, like, oh, this game is from Microsoft. Okay, so we don't know whether or not this game is gonna be supported. It could be axed out of nowhere. It's going to be in Game Pass. Yeah, this game might be dead. There won't be a second one. You got to think about these things now, especially with Take-Two and Microsoft. But it's crazy to know that these publishers and anybody higher than that could just come up and be like, hey, don't put this in the game. Put this in the game. Don't work too hard. Work too hard. Fire this person. Don't fire this person. Hire these incompetent people. It's the amount of control that they have over the games that they paid for, but they didn't make. Sven Vinka was right.
We've used this extra time to create something truly special. Let's take a look at The Breach.
Remember that, dude?
The Breach represents the biggest content update we have ever shipped. We have heard you loud and clear. You wanted more out of our campaign. You wanted more story, more zones to play, more enemies to fight, more bosses to test your metal against.
Yep.
In short, more of everything. And that is exactly what we have been focusing on.
Good.
Our story continues immediately following Ellsworth's return to Sacrament. He summons his daughter Odessa from her prison cell.
My wife. It's my wife. Why do I always pick the bitches that are in jail?
And their exchange reveals more about their relationship.
Take the upper passage out, then leave by the northwest gate.
Oh, he actually freed her.
What are you doing?
Guard Benedict often sleeps on duty, and the ramparts above him will be unmanned. Head north to Irmgard and Merin, or west to the Glades. Anywhere but here.
So that's it then.
You have to go.
As a Sarim,
nice
players
voice
will have
acting.
to venture
Really
forth
nice.
into new areas we're introducing for the Breach. These are massive zones that essentially double the size of the world players got to explore so far. A lot has changed in Sola Sacra since you've last visited. Southeast of Sacrament lies the Lowland Meadows, a once idyllic haven used by Sacrament's hunters to gather food and supplies. Ellsworth requests our presence on a secret mission, but a faction known as the Harvesters has taken over the region.
That's a nice name.
See? I told you this Sarim would come, and here they are.
Indeed. Your presence is welcome here. My friend is convinced that some threat awaits us at the Weeping Sisters.
As always at Moon, when it comes to level design, we deliberately craft every single inch of our world by hand.
That's
We
good.
do not rely on any procedural generation, and we believe that ultimately that will allow us to create an insanely expansive, interactive open world where every inch actually matters.
These developers are going somewhere. These developers are definitely going somewhere. I hope they get the funding that they need. Yeah, I would definitely like to support these developers. They're going somewhere. That's good. That's good. They're neat. Listen, I know that AI art and procedural generating like worlds and you know developers doing like, what's the word I'm looking for? Developers, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I know that certain developers are just like, well, I don't want to work that hard to create a level. But these developers are just like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, it's going to be a pain in the ass, but we'll do it. I like that. I like that. I mean, you romance Cassandra in Inquisition, right? Granted, you were the one in prison. I mean, a lot of white women like a man in prison. Let's continue.
Throughout your journey through the meadows, you will encounter all new enemies. We have also introduced 2 new weapon archetypes, gauntlets and wands. Let's take a look at how these new weapons...
I thought wands were already in the game, or was it scepters? I know there were staves. Wasn't wands already in the game? I feel like they were. Gauntlets? Bro. Fisticuffs?
Can be used to take down all new foes that you'll encounter.
The Timberwhite here will try to take your life with his ginormous great
Nice!
axe. We know some of you already loved being able to suplex enemies in Wicked. It was...
Bruh. I need to get back in this game. Bruh, I need to get back in this game, bruh. I need to get back in this game, bruh. Let's see that again, bruh.
Was only appropriate, we introduced a dropkick.
Dropkick always. But the suplex really sold me.
Some of you already loved being able to suplex enemies in Wicked.
Hold on. I got a voice for that.
Your life with his ginormous great axe. We know some of you already loved being able to suplex enemies in Wicked.
And look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! From out of nowhere!
Whoa, is that part of the gauntlet?
Wormwood wretches and limb-seed archers will keep you on your toes with brutal range attacks.
The animations are so good.
Our tremor wave will make quick work of them.
Well, I want to do
Rust
fisticuffs.
Reavers present an even greater challenge.
I want to fist my enemies.
With 2 huge saws, your best bet is to keep your distance and counter when you find an opening.
Smart.
Deeper within the meadows, the Copse Treader will try to block your path forward.
Where's that hand coming from? Where's that third hand coming from? Where's the third hand coming from? Where's the third hand coming from? I just want to know. Just tell me where the third hand is coming from.
Study his movement patterns and keep a cool head. You might just prevail.
Come on, Margaret.
Obviously, we're also introducing all new bosses for the Breach.
I got a phobia. Yeah, I got a phobia. Let's just, yeah.
But we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
Yep, sure.
We know a lot of you already enjoyed how much love and care we're
Is
putting
it
into
gone?
all
Okay.
of these areas. Once again, we didn't shy away from really using verticality and hiding secrets everywhere.
Thank God it's top-down isometric.
Even though you'll often fight for your life in all of these zones, every now and then you'll get to enjoy a serene scene of beauty.
Yeah, that's good.
Things have changed in Sacrament too. Caretaker Alden has arrived in town to plead for help, dealing with the Blight, a plague infestation destroying his home of Marin Village.
We don't... Listen, developers. We don't talk about the Blight, okay? Don't mention the Blight. Don't mention any sort of veiling of any guards. We don't talk about no Darkspawn. Don't. You're triggering me. We don't do that. Just name it something else.
Excuse me, is it true that Governor Ellsworth has already
call it Briar's
gone
room
that
or something?
magical?
That's
The
very
guard
dangerous.
said as much,
Toxic,
but I
even.
wasn't sure. Many doors in Sacrament stay shut to us, Dasha.
And if you exit Sacrament through its northwestern gate, you will find yourself in the once majestic Marin Woods.
I like the fact they give the danger level.
Recently, the Marin Woods have been befallen by the Blight. It festered all throughout the
That
woods,
looks awesome.
and players will have to find a way past it in order to advance. The Belek Tor are ferocious fighters. The Stalking-Shay here knows how to wield a club, and if you're not careful, they might just call in reinforcements. Our new wand.
It's always the fucking bird enemies. It's always the fucking bird enemies. Whenever you play a game you haven't seen and you encounter a bird enemy, just kill the bird first. Don't ask any questions, okay? Every time when there's a bird enemy, they always do this thing like, as soon as they're about to be dead and they have only 10 HP, they like to do this thing called... And I'm like, you just called 15 of your friends, didn't you? I don't know why they do the same trope. It's always the birds.
Bonds built
I
are
fucking hate
surprisingly
birds.
effective. We can cast ice darts to freeze our enemies. Cold Sling is a powerful ice evasion attack.
Nice. That's cool.
For the Heavy Feather, we'll use some more powerful spells our wands provide. We have since learned how to perform the Riven Twins Plague Explosion.
They have there's so much room for builds in this game that I honestly didn't think this was going to happen. I keep on looking at this game and I'm like, oh, there's probably room for 3 builds. A rogue build, a magic build, and a warrior build. Now I'm looking at this game and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just wait until it comes out. I don't think it's going to be Path of Exile too crazy, but it's going to be crazy.
And if you have enough focus, Lightning Bolt makes quick work of any enemy.
Bro. Thor. I love the art design.
Halfway through Marin Woods, you'll encounter Marin Village, a peaceful woodland community of Isola Sacra.
First traveler I've seen in ages. I'm amazed you made it to our village at all, stranger. Hardly anyone comes here anymore.
10,000 blessings, Serim, for returning us to ourselves.
The villagers in Marin provide new services and sell different items than the ones in Sacrament.
My clod of a cousin's still hammering away in Sacrament. Figured they would have run him off by now.
That's cool.
Chased them out of town with their crooked pitchforks and bent spears. Might as well give it here.
They've done so well with the voice acting, the art design, and most of all, the world building, because the fact that there's different sort of factions and different types of people, I'm willing to bet that those people we just saw in that village are more of a peaceful kind, a peaceful type. You could just tell by the way their clothes look that they have this sort of, we like to make peace, not war sort of thing. And of course, I don't like that shit, but I find it kind of interesting for world building, because it might take place in the story. I just think about these things all the time, is all I'm saying. The accents alone make me think of 3 other games that deserve a true sequel, and I hope these developers take note of this game. True, absolutely true.
In Marin, we will also meet Odessa's godmother, Irmgard, a connection to her Dasha heritage.
I remember when my mother used to sing me to sleep.
I want to marry that woman.
You did too.
Not
Same
the old lady.
lullaby.
That's Briar's.
Will I see you there? All of us at one table again.
I'm not welcome in Sacrament.
And in a return to the Nameless Pass, we'll explore new areas within it, learning more about the forces.
Really good art design.
We will not tolerate any more doubt within your ranks, Primus. Not while we knock on salvation's door.
Discipline takes time. It's earned, not bought.
The born god disagrees. Discipline is forged. It is a tool molded in flame.
There's so much delicious voice acting, story, and lore in this game. I want to touch on that shit so much, but I don't want to. You never want to touch on the lore on an early access game. Well, you can, and I understand you want to put a foothold on lore videos, and I want to do that too. But you never want to do that, because when it comes out in full access and, you know, it's finally 1.0, the lore might change. And those 2 or 3 other videos you made on the lore don't mean shit anymore because they changed the story.
Meanwhile, we'll continue the story of Madrigal Celine and her vanguard.
She's evil, but smash. She's a bad bitch. Did they change her design a little bit? She's the type of woman where you see her and you wish you were tied up on her bed, and you're just a tool. You're just a tool for breeding. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. She drinks her little wine. She swigs her wine, and she's just like, "Go back to your dungeon. I'm done with you." That's it. That's it. I'm gonna stop talking.
Who seek to liberate the lost city of Kalen.
We're incredibly excited about this new chapter in our campaign, but we don't want to spoil everything just yet.
Too bad.
Our intention for No Rest
New
for the
Game
Wicked
Plus?
was always to provide
I remember
players
that
with
area.
an insane amount of content, even after they finish the campaign. After the events that unfold throughout the Breach, our Spilled Blood questline continues, as any area within Isola Sacra can now be overtaken by the Pestilence.
Is this New Game Plus?
Once an area is infected, you will suddenly have to fight enemies that you never encountered before.
Wait, when you beat the game, or
provide players with an insane amount of intent?
Say that again. Is this New Game Plus or when you finished?
Our intention for No Rest for the Wicked was always to provide players with an
True
insane
Snake.
amount of content, even after they finish the campaign.
It's New Game Plus.
After the events that unfold throughout the Breach, our Spilled Blood questline continues, as any area within Isola Sacra can now be overtaken by the Pestilence.
Is that more to the story, or is it just a
Once an area is
gameplay thing?
infected, you will suddenly have to fight enemies that you never encountered before in these areas.
Do they have new moves or anything? This is really cool, but what are you adding to the table beside it being Pestilence? Is there new enemies? Are there going to be the same enemies? Are those same enemies going to have different sort of abilities? What happens when, have you seen God of War? When the enemy's lights glow, if you're on the highest difficulty, or maybe certain enemies have certain modifiers, or what happens when you defeat these enemies that are in the Pestilence area? Do they give you some sort of legendary or unique gear? All these things I think about. I do like the difficulty though.
Defeat these enemies, and they might just drop all new Torn resources.
There we go.
Torn resources can be burned at any fire in order to further increase the challenge within an infected area.
Nice.
You will need to heavily upgrade your gear and perfect your build in order to succeed.
Nice.
But greater challenge also means greater rewards.
Nice. I knew they would do that.
Notice that with every enemy you slay, the Pestilence spread meter at the bottom of the screen reduces.
I see it.
Slay enough enemies, and you will have to overcome only one more obstacle.
Getting rid of the infection means ripping it out at its root.
Isn't that a boss that I fought? You brought the boss out in the open world? Yeah, I remember his ass.
If you manage to defeat the plague boss within the infected area, the entire zone will be cleansed of the pestilence once more. Our Alive system has also gotten a huge update. You will now find many more factions being able to take over the various areas within Isola Sac.
Is that a bear/rat?
Our goal with all of this is to change the way players think about retraversal in video games. We ultimately want to make every return feel as fresh and as exciting as it was the first time you played.
I don't remember going down there.
And as you can see, we also introduced entirely new levels within the areas you're already familiar with.
Nice. That's one ugly-ass rat.
In order to aid players in achieving the perfect build, we introduced quite a few changes that will make progression a whole lot more streamlined and fun.
These developers are smart. I think other developers that are in the indie sphere or even the AAA sphere, they need to watch out for these guys. They really do. This is what actual gamers really do want. It absolutely. Listen, we can have this whole we want to have sexy characters. I get that. I absolutely want that. But I also want awesome gameplay that makes me want to come back to the game and makes me want to build on something. As much as I like the characters in the First Descent is boring slop. It just is.
First off, we have revamped the way gear drops. We replaced the tiered approach and came up with a formula that takes the player level, the area level and the enemy level into account, which results in an experience where any gear that drops will be approximately within your level range. Now, gear that used to only drop in earlier zones might just drop again, but at a higher level. We tried this out, and we ultimately see a much higher variety of gear throughout our playthroughs. We think it's a much more enjoyable looting experience.
I need to hear that again, I'm sorry. I was thinking about it for a second.
A lot more streamlined and fun.
I need to hear that again.
First off, we have revamped the way gear drops. We replaced the tiered approach and came up with a formula that takes the player level, the area level and the enemy level into account, which results in an experience where any gear that drops will be approximately within your level range. Now, gear that used to only drop in earlier zones might just drop again, but at a higher level.
That's good, because you will end up with gear that you just can't use, and it actually it's funny because when you're used to playing an RPG, you fight some enemies, you find 2 or 3 different pieces of armor that you can't wear until you get to a certain level, and by the time now you're just holding a bunch of gear that you can't wear. And then by the time that you get to the level of said gear, you've already found different gear that is more superior than the gear that you were waiting on. So that's actually kind of good. It eliminates that whole, oh, I gotta wait for the... And you might still be doing that. But with this, it's like, okay, it's immediate. And, you know, it's far more streamlined, like they said.
We tried this out, and we ultimately see a much higher variety of gear throughout our playthroughs.
Yeah.
We think it's a much more enjoyable looting experience.
Like you fight a person and you're like, oh man, I got some level 20 chest piece, and it looks kind of cool. Ah man, but I'm 3 levels away from wearing it. Oh man, I guess I'll wait. And then you play the game for literally 5 hours. You finally get to that level, but you already got like 7 different chest pieces of that same armor, and that one that you were holding on to, it doesn't fucking matter by that time, because you probably got 3 other different chest pieces that follow with the build that you want. Just sell it, I guess.
Another big aspect that defines your build is, of course, the enchantments. So far, if your gear didn't drop with the enchantments you needed, your item would never reach its full potential. But we came up with a solution.
Enchantments. Damage increased by 25% for 6 seconds after stagger. That's good. Focus gain increased by up to 22% based on durability. That's fine. If it's high or low. Gain 9% health on stagger. That's really good. Item durability decreased by 6. Oh, so it's kind of corrupted, so you get a give and take. I think it was already in the game, though.
Would never reach its full potential. But we came up with a solution. If an item dropped with less than maximum possible amount of enchantments, you can now use a Fallen Ember to add another random enchantment to it.
Nice.
And if you have an enchantment...
Please tell me that I can get rid of the corrupted enchantment. Please tell me there is a way to get rid of the red enchantment. I am begging you. Tell me that there's a chance. I'll have to work at it, but I can delete it, right?
Enchantment on one of your items that doesn't quite fit your playstyle, Fallen Embers can now be used to re-roll that particular enchantment. Of course, Fallen Embers are also still used for respec.
It just gave it a different disenchantment. Stamina costs increased by 31% at low health. I can deal with that. But that's fine. That's fine. I thought I could change that and like take it off or change it or something like that into a good enchantment. But I guess you can level the amount of hurt on that enchantment. So something that says like every time you hit an enemy, you lose 20% of your health. Like you definitely don't want that shit. So you use an item and then you change that, and then it says like you deal bonus damage depending on the amount of currency you got, but in return, every time when you do that bonus damage, you lose at least a tiny percentile amount of currency as you're hitting. So it's some sort of like money build or something like that, something crazy. And you're just like, well, I'm rich, so I think I'll be good.
Your character, which makes Embers insanely valuable now.
We also introduced a new weapon rarity, Masterworks.
Finally. That's good.
Any Masterwork starts out as just a common item. If you decide to forego the RNG aspects of Wicked, you can bank on gems in order to fully customize your item. Gems will now show you exactly what effect they'll have, depending on which item you slot them into.
That's good.
In our case here, we want to craft a build that heavily relies on and synergizes with focus. The benefit of common items is that we can completely customize them. Once we've fitted the maximum amount of gems into them, they now become a masterwork.
Hold up though, so we got gems on the armor. Can we do enchantments on the armor as well? Or are the enchantments part of the weapons and the gems are part of the armor? I think they already said that.
In general, we've introduced a whole slew of new weapons, runes and armor sets. We've also iterated on our list of enchantments in order to enable the creation of entirely new builds, while ridding ourselves...
My channel didn't just bounce off, did it? No? Yes? Maybe so? How are you doing, Venom?
...the enchantments that led to overpowered builds. Given that, and the new loot drop algorithm...
No, it says right there. Like gems, you got a gem on a hat. That's a cool looking hat. But you also have enchantments. No, you have gems and enchantments. Yo! You have gems and enchantments on everything. Nice, that's cool.
The sky's the limit when it comes to build variety. New loot drop algorithm. The sky's the limit when it comes to build variety.
I want everybody to look at this character right here, okay? I want everybody to look at this character right here, okay? this is the Shamer build, okay? This is the Shamer build. You want to know why I know this is the greatest Shamer build? Because two things. Shamer likes a difficult, challenging combat. And Shamer is probably the type of person to put himself in a difficult situation in order for him to maximize the amount of difficulty. He is willing to wear an all-straw armor set. And he's just like, okay, awesome. I got a cool build with this all-straw armor. Awesome, cool. And he's thinking, I can't wait for somebody to throw fire at me so I can lose damage, but also do extra damage. And I'm just like, are you part of the orc horde in Warhammer? And he goes, yes. Yes, I am.
Variety.
We
I'm one of the boys.
A major balance pass on our stats, and we noticed that quite a lot of you didn't use shields all that much. So we changed the way they work.
You got a counter thing?
Instead of draining stamina, shields are now based around poise and stagger, and we try to ensure that each shield archetype...
They've been playing Elden Ring.
So we can't wait to see all your new...
They've been playing Elden Ring. They've been playing Elden Ring. That's right. That's right, developers. Steal. Steal. Is it stealing? I don't know what you're talking about. This is my first time playing video games. I've never played video games. I don't even know what video games are. What do you mean stealing? I don't know what you're talking about.
Last but not least, if you've become a master at playing No Rest for the Wicked, you should try...
Why did you name the character Steve Leaks? Why did you name him that? Why did you name him his Steve Leaks? Is that hardcore mode? Is that hardcore mode? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I want that.
Our new hardcore characters.
Good.
Permadeath is enabled for these, so once these characters die, they get downgraded to non-hardcore characters that can only be played.
Oh, they get downgraded. Rounds. That's nice. Still sucks though.
Will be the first player to slay the Econite with a hardcore character.
I'll defeat him, but I won't never be the first person.
Naturally, we also spent quite some time introducing a wide range of quality of life features and polished up what you've played so far of No Rest for the Wicked. For example, we've noticed that a lot of your houses looked similar to this one.
Yeah, because we hoard.
Storage has always been incredibly important in any ARPG. On our current live builds, players can stack all that many items, and sorting hasn't been ideal yet. Let's switch over to our Breach update.
What's up?
We fixed that right up, and now allow players to stack a whole lot more items.
Thank you.
Chests.
Thank you. Thank you. I thought that whole 25 shit, I thought that shit was way too low. Thank you. God, I was like 25? Yeah, I don't know about this game. Like, I think two things will decide the longevity of a game, and one is progression, and two, if you're playing an RPG with a lot of loot, it's going to be storage. It will be. If you do this whole, oh, you can only stack up to 10 berries. Bitch, are you serious? You can. I'm just making a joke, but of course, like, fucking only can stack 25, and I'm like, I'm glad for this though. Ryer says, as a hoarder, many things.
Now also get sorted in a beautiful way.
While we're in our home, we can show off another cool feature we added.
Customize?
We've added Whisper Stones, which enable fast travel to and from your house.
They've been playing Dragon's
If you
Dogma.
just want to quickly drop off items and gear while you're out and about, instead of having to first warp to Sacrament and then run to your home, you can now save that one step.
Good. That's good.
Remember that you can place one Whisper Stone per house, so if you own multiple ones, you can even fast travel between them.
Can you customize the house though? I don't remember you can.
Regards food cooldowns. We've removed the classic cooldowns entirely. Now you can consume meals instantly. However, your stomach is no longer a bottomless pit. You have a limited number of meals you can eat during combat.
That's fair. I was wondering about that. That's fair.
You'll be able to upgrade this limit through Plague Ichor, letting you extend how many times you can heal or buff yourself in battle. This new approach aims to make combat more engaging and dynamic, rather than forcing players to just wait for a timer.
Damn, you got fucked up.
Time ticks ever forward.
We know timers and project wait times have been a major discussion point in our community.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That one. I don't want to play a mobile game. I'm sorry. I love your game, guys. I do. But meet us at least halfway is all I'm saying. I mean, I don't know if you guys are going to take it away completely, but meet us halfway on something. Because I'm seeing this, and I'm just like, yeah, what's going to happen?
We're adding a new feature so you can contribute food and ingredients to make Adanas' workers, speeding up whichever building project they're currently tackling.
Okay, that's meeting us in halfway. Okay, that's good. Much like, what's the game? Forever Winter, because I'm going to play that game some more once it reaches 1.0. They got rid of the water, they didn't get rid of water. They got rid of the water meter, based on time. So when you're not playing the game, the water meter goes down, and if you reach a 0 limit on your water, then things go bad in your area. So a lot of people have lives to live. So they turned water into just currency. So I think these developers, just like the Forever Winter studio, I think that's smart because, I mean, people got kids, I got a job, I'm super busy, y'all are super busy. We are playing these games to get away from mobile games, and some of these mobile games are getting more and more enticing by the year. And or some of you guys are just completely like, fuck that shit. I deleted all my mobile games.
Feedback, and we will keep iterating on the system. If you have thoughts, please keep sharing them.
That's a little bit better.
And of course, we've been hard at work meticulously optimizing performance.
Then you're better than Capcom. Anyway.
If you notice any poor performance in a machine before, the Breach update should drastically improve your experience. Speaking of improvements, our DLSS implementation has been updated to a newer version, which results in much crisper image and even better performance. And these are just a few highlights. In total, we're counting more than 11,000 changes since we shipped the Crucible update.
I'm not reading all that shit.
Before we dive deeper, we'd like to clarify how you'll access the breach. You will need to replay No Rest for the Wicked to fully experience this update.
This is why I don't play early access games, is because they just rip away your character anyway from one update to another. And then, of course, some of you guys don't really care, but I care. When I just go through a whole game and I'm just like, man, I got all this loot, and then I come home and these niggas just say like, we got a new update for you. What happened to my boy Jeffrey, the guy that I built to wield a giant ice axe, and he's like unstoppable, and Jeffrey can like, he can hold all this damage. He's a tank of a man, and man, I got him up to New Game Plus Plus. What happened to my boy Jeffrey? And the developers look at me like, you're gonna have to let him go. And I'm like, no, man. Nah, I'm not doing that.
Saves remain in a legacy build, but this approach ensures the breach is integrated as seamlessly as
you could play the game again and you could play the game again and do the Jeffrey build again. It's not the same. It's not the same.
Possibly into the game. We realize this might be a surprise for some. Ultimately, the scope of the breach and the underlying changes led us here. But don't worry, you'll discover plenty of fresh content, quests, and loot to make restarting your journey worthwhile.
It's a nice sword. What's next? Romance. What's next? Romance. Romance. What's next? Romance. It's not going to be in the game. Okay, it's fine. I'm just playing around. Okay, not every game has to have romance. Listen, let's just rule 34. No rest for the wicked. Okay. All right. We ain't getting romance, but rule 34. We're good. We're good. All right.
Let's discuss our roadmap next. It goes without saying that we will heavily support the breach for the upcoming weeks after launch. You will once again see us react incredibly quickly to all of the feedback you guys might provide.
But we're also already hard at work on our next content drops. We've received hundreds, if not thousands of pleas begging for the co-op update, and we know that our original roadmap had co-op before the breach. Rest assured, it will be the next thing we launch after this update.
How many people? I'm gonna say it right now. It doesn't matter whether or not you bring one extra person into the game. Listen, I think just it's not co-op is not for me, but co-op just reduces the game for me. So this is gonna be good for players that don't want that hardcore experience, but it's not going to be good for me. But I'm glad that there's a choice out there for everyone, because I'm seeing 3 characters and this guy's going to die in probably like 20 seconds. Because that whole feeling, this is why I don't play Monster Hunter Wilds with other people, because you lay waste to monsters. I know you get more health and more damage when the monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds have 4 characters on the screen, but you lay waste to that monster so fast, it doesn't even fucking matter if they got extra health. So it's just like, oh man, you don't feel the accomplishment. Maybe with one extra person you feel it, but other than that, I like playing it pretty much alone.
The reason we ultimately decided to switch these updates was because we wanted people to have more content to play once co-op releases. With the Breach update, there will be now a lot more content to explore.
That's cool, cutting the wood together.
After the co-op update, we'll be following up with more improvements and new systems. We'll expand Sacrament, improve housing, introduce farming, expand the Crucible, and
farming and housing, add fishing. Listen to me right now. Add some animals, add hunting. Let me hunt some boar. Let me add some cooking, and I think you already have cooking. Add some fishing, and you're well on your way, sir. Add fishing. You can do this. Just put some stupid stick on my hand. Let me throw it at the water, and then at the bottom of the screen you can doodle. You got the biggest fish in the game. And I'm like, oh, my ex-girlfriend? Got it. Awesome. Let me cook this shit real quick. Just add it in the game.
Of course, finish the campaign with more story and more quests and bosses. And we're very much aware that a lot of you finally want to play No Rest for the Wicked on all major consoles.
We have a ton of things planned to further improve on the foundation that we've laid so far, and we're excited to keep discussing all of these new releases and changes with you as we go along.
Also, Today marks the 10th anniversary of Ori.
Nice.
We released Ori and the Blind Forest on March
Just
11th, 2015.
Never played it though.
It's been a wild ride for all of us here at Moon. So today, we'd like to use this opportunity to just say thank you.
Nice.
Thank you to all of our fans who have supported us the whole way through. We would not be where we are today without you. We're now hard at work on the final bug fixing and polishing stages of this massive update. We want to make sure we get it just right. But before we wrap up, there is one more thing, and this one is near and dear to our hearts.
Hello everyone, I'm Gareth Coker.
Dang boy, you got a big head.
With Moon Studios began more than 15 years ago when I received a message on an internet forum from them asking me if I'd be interested in composing the music for a small indie project.
What's that?
4 years later, that small project blossomed into Ori and the Blind Forest.
Nice.
Now, we were all very young.
I heard
and
good
just
things
getting
about their
started,
music.
So for our second release, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, we set out to perfect everything about the original, and I couldn't be more proud of what we were able to create together. But our journey is not yet over.
What?
I'm happy to announce that I've been hard at work crafting an unforgettable score for the story, the characters, the locations, and the boss fights of No Rest for the Wicked.
Nice!
And you will finally be able to hear some ambient music while out exploring in the world
Nice!
too. I can't wait to see where this journey leads us once again. It leaves me to invite you to experience the all-new music in No Rest for the Wicked with the Breach update, launching on April the 30th.
Oh, it's already gonna be in it.
It'll be well worth the wait.
Dang. That's gonna be an awesome. I would buy that OST. I need to get myself a record player because I would like to have a record player because I don't know. I would like to own my music, you know, for once. I'm talking about you, Spotify. But I think that's amazing. I think Will of the Wisp, I got a couple of their songs already on my Spotify, but to have No Rest for the Wicked music already on, you know, to have No Rest for the Wicked to be added to my list of games in my playlist, that would be great because music is everything. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Anyway, that was awesome. That was pretty cool. I don't know what you think, guys. I think we're going to have an awesome time when this game reaches 1.0. Of course, there's going to be an update, and I could play a little bit of it, a teeny bit of it, but mostly I want 1.0. Absolutely. Anyway, I'll be right back.